Okay, so now we are going to go over some of the Disney movie original backstories. The ones we are going to be doing today is Little Mermaid, Frozen, Lion King, Snow White, Cinderella, Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Dom.
Comment down below if it's Dame or Dom.
1 for Dame, 2 for Dom.
Sleeping Beauty, Pinocchio, and Rapunzel. Now, my mind's blank again. Poopy.
We're going to take turns reviewing the stories of the different movies. I will be starting, and then Kaya will go, then I'll go.
Actually, I'm gonna let you do the first two because I want to do Lion King and Sleeping Beauty at the very least.
I wanted to do Lion King. You don't have to do it in order.
I want to do it in order, and I want to do Lion King because there's actually Lion King is based off of a completely different story.
I think we shouldn't have it facing that way because of the glare.
Well, maybe if you'll come sit by me.
Okay, yeah, that's better. That's a better idea. Hey,
Okay, so we're doing. He's going to read off The Little Mermaid to you guys, and then I will scroll down. I'll let him do Frozen as well, because there's some names I can't pronounce. And then I will do Lion King. And honestly, I'm probably going to let him do most of them because he's better at reading aloud than I am.
especially with the sickness.
Well, I stutter when I read aloud. You don't.
Yeah, but my mouth gets full of spit. Did I have to mention that?
No. Okay, here we go.
In the Disney's version of Hans Christian Andersen's tale, who from now on I'm just going to call Hans, Ariel eventually wins the heart of Prince Eric, gets her voice back, and celebrates with a beautiful wedding on a boat, surrounded by her aquatic friends and family. In Hans's tale, things don't end so rosily. In fact, the story is tragic throughout, with Ariel's transformation to human causing her constant agonizing pain before her heart is broken when her prince marries someone else. The sea witch informs her that if he kills the prince, she will turn back into a mermaid and live. But Ariel chooses to sacrifice herself, throwing herself into the sea and becoming sea foam.
Okay, now we are moving on to Frozen. Now, Frozen came out shortly after I was born. So, it's not much younger than me.
You mean not much older? Oh, wait. Sorry, my brain blanked.
Clearly. Read.
Disney's spectacularly popular animation is loosely based on Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen. But while Frozen is an empowering story of sisterly love and learning not to fear your power, The Snow Queen has much darker beginnings. Through a similarly happy ending, in The Snow Queen, the devil makes a magic mirror, which shows people only the bad and ugly aspects of themselves. When the mirror is shattered, splinters get into the eyes and hearts of people around the world, freezing in their hearts. Years later, a splinter gets into the eye of a boy called Kai, causing him to become cruel and reject his grandmother and best friend Gerda, making him an easy target to be enchanted and imprisoned by the Snow Queen. When he disappears, it's assumed that Kai has fallen into the river and died, but Gerda is sure he's alive and begins an epic quest to rescue him.
Okay, coming up next is The Lion King. Now, it was actually based off of William Shakespeare's Hamlet. Don't be fooled.
Do you want me to read it?
Please. I can't. I can't.
Don't be fooled by cute lion cubs and warthog/meerkat comedy duos. The inspiration behind Disney's beloved animation and the live-action film is much darker than you might expect. It's said that the writers were inspired by Shakespeare's Hamlet, in which the Prince Hamlet sets out to seek revenge on his uncle Claudius after Claudius murders his father in order to seize the throne, not unlike the plight of our favorite lion cub, Simba. One of Shakespeare's most famous and one of the world's most performed plays, Hamlet devises a scheme to find out whether his uncle really did murder his father, as alleged by his father's ghost who appeared to him. But the madness Hamlet feigns while plotting his brutal revenge begins to wreak havoc on the guilty and innocent alike.
Okay, so now that we have gone over those three, let me just cross those out because I have a checklist here. Lion King. Next up is Snow White,
which is actually, fun fact, Disney's very first animated film.
It is actually from the early 1900s.
1937 to be exact.
You remember that without reading it?
Yeah. You didn't?
I read it 4 times today and I still couldn't remember.
Dang. Fun fact, I have a better memory than her.
Fun fact, you might just want to get hit if you don't shush. Give me my scrunchie.
I need to fidget.
Read. No, stays right here.
The original fairy tale of Snow White. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs was Disney's very first animated feature film and has become an undisputed classic since its release in 1937. The film is a fairly faithful retelling of the fairy tale that appears in the Brothers Grimm collection, and with one exception. While the film ends with the prince awakening Snow White with a kiss and taking her to his castle, the original story sees the evil queen attend the subsequent wedding where she is recognized by the prince and made to dance, quite literally until she drops in a pair of red-hot iron slippers. Ouch. The Grimm's Fairy Tales by the Brothers Grimm. This beautiful Macmillan Collector's Library of Grimm's Fairy Tales includes a selection of classic stories that have delighted and frightened children and adults alike for over 200 years, including Sleeping Beauty, Rapunzel, and Snow White.
Which they all have a darker
backstory.
Now, there are 2 of these. No, one of them. The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Dumb.
Stop.
Okay.
Is their most dark Disney movie that they
Darkest.
have. Thank you. Their darkest Disney movie that they have made.
Animated. Now, your eye looks very irritated, just like your soul.
You irritate me! What do you expect? Ignore our nabbing at each other, please. But
our sibling squabbles.
The Black Cauldron actually almost... I wrote that backwards.
Black the Cauldron.
Actually almost ruined Disney.
Like making them go bankrupt or just ruin their reputation?
Ruin their reputation.
Dang. That's
rough.
That's rough.
After this video, I want to make go over some more Disney movies that we all watched as kids,
I've never actually seen The Black Cauldron.
I had that movie. What are you talking about? Yes, you had, because I made you watch it over and over and over and over again when we were younger, just like I did Frozen. And Maleficent.
Maleficent is actually one of my favorite Disney movies.
Maleficent is actually the darker backstory of that's redone by Disney of Sleeping Beauty.
Fun fact about Maleficent, during the scene where her Sleeping Beauty meets Maleficent, they had to use the actress's actual daughter because all the other actors they tried to use got scared. And so they had to use her actual daughter, who was the only one who didn't.
Because, well, she's her daughter.
And she actually recognized her through the
Moving
pounds
on.
of makeup.
Moving on. We're moving on to Cinderella.
I wonder how heavy that headpiece was.
Read the Cinderella one, please.
Disney's animated classic is fun for all the family, complete with singing mice, a kindly fairy godmother, and a show-stopping dress. In the Brothers Grimm version, Cinderella still gets her happily ever after, but her evil stepsisters get a much gorier comeuppance. I'm not sure how to say that. I'm just gonna say ending. A much gorier ending. After one sister tries to trick the prince into believing she's his true love by cutting off her toe to fit into Cinderella's shoe, and the other tries the same trick by cutting off a part of her heel, Cinderella and the prince are reunited and happily wed, with Cinderella's pigeon pals plucking out her stepsister's eyes as the post-wedding entertainment.
Now, you can actually see the cutting off the toe part, her one stepsister, in Cinderella 3.
You can?
Yeah, because remember I made you boys watch that over and over again because I liked it so much?
I have barely any memories from back then.
But it was the stepsisters found the fairy godmother's wand.
One moment. I have to take this off. It's way too hot in here. It's taking my shirt off with it, isn't it?
Yep.
Gosh dang it.
But
Dang it.
basically...
Get off, you stupid thing. Get off.
So, in Cinderella 3, one of the stepsisters finds the fairy godmother's wand and shows her mother. And now things take a dark turn because I would have to watch it again. Sadly, we don't have the disc anymore because I loved that movie.
Disney Plus. Boom. Boom. Bam. Bop.
I'm not logged in, and there's a password on it, Jaden, and Mom won't tell me the password. So, basically, the password she has on almost everything.
I don't know. That's the only password I know.
But if you want to watch that, it's Cinderella 3. It shows like a red background rather than a blue. Okay, now you did read, okay, yes. Now we're moving on to
The Hunchback
of Notre Dame.
Stop. No.
Ah!
Can't even scream in anger properly.
Well, what do you expect? I lost my voice 2 days ago and I'm just getting it back. Now read.
Alright. The Hunchback of Notre Dame's tragic original ending. Disney's The Hunchback of Notre Dame, certainly one of the darker animated films in their vast back catalog, ends happily with Quasimodo saving Esmeralda, accepting that she loves another, and leaving the cathedral to be welcomed into society as a hero. In Victor Hugo's novel, however, the story has a much sadder ending, with Quasimodo's guardian, an Acaridian, I think?
Correct.
Frollo betraying Esmeralda and sending her to her death. When he laughs at as Esmeralda is hung, Quasimodo kills Frollo and visits the cemetery where he mourns Esmeralda, eventually starving of starvation on her grave.